What's up, Bulldogs? All right, I want to tell you about one of the best ways to completely destroy and ruin your life. It's probably not something that you're aware of. In fact, you probably think the opposite of what I'm about to tell you. So I want to show you a comment that I got on a video I made. So I made this video about ditching your female friends. You know, every time I make a video about this subject, people get upset and butthurt about this, which I get it, because I'll do a longer video where I'll break this down even further so you can really understand this. Because man, I gotta tell you, as a guy, understanding why it's important for you to not have female friends is extremely important for your success with women. You might not believe me, you might think it's crazy, but there's so many reasons for this. But that's not what we're gonna talk about in this video. Instead, I wanna talk about this comment here. So I got this comment, and this guy said, "I don't ditch friends." And here's what I replied. I said, "This is actually one of the worst principles to ever subscribe to in life. More people have completely destroyed their lives because of the inability to ditch friends than just about any other reason." And I'm gonna stand by this. This might seem a little bit extreme. You might think that ditching friends, that's a horrible thing to do, to be a person that gets rid of friends. You know, friends are supposed to have your back. You're supposed to have their back. What's the point of being friends if you don't have this kind of loyalty? And while I agree with that, I do believe that when you do have friends, that you should be loyal to them, that you should have their back, that they should have your back. The problem is that oftentimes the friends that you have had in the past are not in alignment with the person you are today. Many times people either just don't grow or they grow in a different direction than you. So let me give you kind of an example here. I've got a friend of mine, I'm not gonna name any names here, but he was just going through this experience. You know, he grew up sort of in what I would say is somewhat of a drug culture. And in that drug culture, there were a lot of friends that he had that they were loyal. They were bros. You know, he grew up with these guys. And it was good. I think they sort of supported each other at the time, even though they were doing some crazy partying type of things. You know, they always had each other's back. And I think there's something to be said about that, about going through some of your first experiences with women in life with some guys that maybe you're not necessarily doing the right things in life, but you got each other's back. You're growing, you're learning. But this friend of mine now, he's kind of evolved past that. He's really evolved in a spiritual sense. He's hit a point in his life where he has a woman in his life who he really loves, who supports him, who is a great mate for him, you know, someone who is just, a fantastic human being. And he's really been on this path of improving himself, growing his businesses, getting in better shape, getting rid of the sort of bad habits that hold him back in life, and really growing at a spiritual level. And so there's some instances that have occurred recently where he's had some big get-togethers with a bunch of different friends. And some of these friends that are not on the same path, some of these older friends of his that were really steeped in this drug culture that he grew up with, when he's gotten together with his friends, he's done some things that he's not proud of. It's led him in some ways that just don't go along with the person that I know him to be, right? And I see this from an external viewpoint, and I can see how he has these aspirations of being this guy, but these friends, they're holding him back, because when he gets together with these friends, he's sort of living between these two worlds, this new world where he lives now and where he wants to be and where he's growing and developing and where the woman in his life lives, and this other world where he sort of has to be that guy that he used to be, right? And a lot of these guys, even though he's elevated and grown, they're holding him back because he's stuck when he's around them, because he reverts back in some way to that person that he was, which is not necessarily a bad person, but a lot of these guys, they're just never gonna grow, right? They're just gonna do stupid things, they're gonna say stupid things, they are going to constantly be in trouble and getting themselves in trouble. And he's a good guy because he wants to help them out, right? And maybe you're in the same situation. Maybe you're like, well, I'm a good person, I wanna help people out. And look, I can relate to that. My whole mission in life is helping people. That's what it is. I love you guys, and I will be here to help you, and I will make these videos and support you. And you might even leave a negative comment for me. You know what? I love you too, because I don't care, because I'm going to do the best that I can to help as many people as I can, whether they like me or not. But see, the difference is I can make these videos, and if you're negative, if you are a toxic person, you can't directly affect my life. Yeah, you can leave a comment on the video, and that's fine, but I can choose to read it or not. I can choose to absorb it or not. I'm not hanging around you all the time. And see, the problem is when you have toxic people in your life, especially friends, and you have this loyalty to these friends, you can put yourself in a position where you're being held back, where you're trying to advance, you're trying to go to this new world that you want to be a part of, and the new version of yourself, this new identity. But these friends that maybe you're trying to help them along the way, they're like crabs in a bucket. They're pulling you back, and that's a very powerful force. And so I see so many people destroying their lives. And with this particular friend of mine, there's been this kind of big mistake that he made in his life that almost did destroy his life. And it's because, he made the choice, but he would not have made that choice if he wasn't hanging around these people. And so recently he's made this decision to cut a lot of these people out of his life. And I think that's a great decision. And it's a hard one, but I applaud him for having the courage to do this, because what you have to understand is that you really have to put the people in your life who matter to you first, and the people who are supporting you and the people who are on the same path as you first. You have to really focus on that, because if you don't do that, then other people in your life are going to suffer because of the person that you're going to become, or that you're going to be held back to being by the friends that you choose. And so, friendship, the people that you choose to hang around with, and the people that you choose to have in your life to support you and that you support, these are some of the most important choices that you can make in your life. You've probably heard the saying that you are the sum or the average of the 5 people you hang around the most. This is very, very true. And many times in life, earlier in life, we might not make the best choices for friends, or they might be good choices at the time. But as you grow and evolve, you have to be able to ditch friends. And you're not doing this because you're a mean person. I always say that you don't just, in most cases, just completely eliminate a friend from your life. You demote them to acquaintance. And acquaintance is a fine place to be. You just don't hang out with them all the time. You're spending your time with people who are worthy of your time. And again, I don't say this to be mean. I understand the dilemma. I understand having high school buddies or college buddies or people that you grew up with and that you've had long-standing relationship with. And maybe these people have helped you in your time of need and have supported you and have had your back. But if they're not growing, if they're not changing with you, if they're holding you back, you have to recognize that and you have to rise above it. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck. I've seen so many people destroy their lives out of this mistaken sense of loyalty. If these friends that you were afraid to ditch, if they really cared about you, if they were really a good friend to you, they would say, hey, you go do your thing. You leave me behind because I can't go with you. Like, I don't want to stifle you. I don't want to stop you from flying with the eagles. Like, I'm not there. I'm not going to be there, whatever, but you go on. If they were really friends to you, do you not think that they would do that? Would you not do that for someone else if the situation were reversed? Hopefully you would, right? So I think it's just so important that you understand that it's not about being mean. It's not about not being loyal. It's not about not caring about people. It's about caring about the people that are on the path with you, and caring about the people that you're going to affect and change and help them in their lives because of the person that you're growing to become, right? If you're on this path of personal improvement, of this Bulldog mindset path, you're going to leave a lot of people behind. You're going to ditch a lot of friends. Unfortunately, you have to, because it's a change, it's a growth. Not everyone is ready for this. Not everyone is going to go down this path. And maybe you're going to have some friends that are going to go down this path with you, and that's great if they do. But if they're not, you got to be ruthless, man. You got to be able to say no. I'm not going to spend my time with these people, even if they've been in my life for a very long time. And the same thing goes for family. We're not even going to address that in this video, but you have to be ruthless. You have to be ruthless with your time. You have to be ruthless with who you associate with. And I just can't tell you how many lives I have seen ruined by friends. Friends who you choose to be around is probably the most important decision that you can make in your life, right? Your spouse is the most important, but it's the same thing. It's the relationships. It's the people that you choose to be around. And so I get where some of you guys are coming from, but I'm telling you, you will destroy your life. You will absolutely destroy your life if you cannot ditch friends. You have to be able to do that in life. It's hard to do. It takes some balls to do that, but it's necessary. All right, guys, if you want to grow and get around people who have the same mindset and belief and want to improve themselves, click the link down below. Join us in the Bulldog Mindset membership. I'm revamping the membership this year. I've got a lot of things that are going to be coming down the pipe here. You can see a renewed Bulldog mindset. I know these videos aren't getting a lot of views. That's fine. It's not a big deal. Okay, we talked about this, but they will. They will in time. I'm going to reach a lot more people. That's what my plan is. And most importantly, we're not going to sacrifice the authenticity here. If you want to be a person who is on that path, join us. I know I say this a lot, but if you can't afford the membership, you can afford the membership. I promise you, because it is something that is going to change your life. You might think that maybe the price is expensive, and I totally get that, and I understand that, but I want to do big things. You got to make a big commitment if you want to do big things as well. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow.